Hello, everybody. Tonight's show, we're going to talk about Phoenix. The company Xfinity was there, the rules package and reaction to the drivers, and some other NASCAR news when we come back.
Inravio.com.
Hello again, everybody. This is Joe Larson and Chuck Schultz, and you're watching the 505 on Racing Show. Welcome to another night of Race Talk. Phoenix, new rules package. Yesterday's event for the Cup cars was the first to feature the revamped 2020 short track rules package, which will also be in effect in the road courses as well. They'll have a shorter rear spoiler from an 8-inch spoiler to a 2 3/4-inch spoiler, which they used, and a front splitter overhang reduction from 2 inches to 1/4 inch. Also, there were alterations to the radiator. So here we go. They put the drive back in the driver's
hands. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what we talked about originally, so there you go.
And if anybody watched that event, that race, yesterday at Phoenix and even Saturday, you notice that the drivers were driving these cars. I mean, that one turn where they can go under the yellow line, at some points they're going 5 wide. 5 wide in coming off the corners down the straightaway.
Because they're able to drive the car now.
They could drive the car. You didn't see any of that bumping and banging stuff where, you know, you're pushing and pushing and pushing, you know, the bump draft thing or whatever they want to call it. You didn't see too much
Well,
of
you're
that.
gonna use any advantage you possibly can as a driver.
Absolutely.
And if your foot's to the floor and all you can do is arrow, then you're gonna be pushing.
You're going to be pushing.
What are you gonna do? I mean, you don't have much choice.
The teams were ecstatic over this. I do not know of one team that had any negative comments about this new package. And when they get to the road courses, that's going to be a whole nother ball of soup, because when you're at the road courses, you know, there's a lot of that pushing and banging until they get in those corners and those S-turns. So
Yeah, because there's not a lot of room to pass there.
Exactly.
You don't have any kind of an advantage there.
No, you don't.
And they're using everything they can.
Exactly.
Whether it's bumps or turns or cutting in close or trying to get underneath the guy, you got to do that.
It's amazing. So, you know, this is something that the drivers have been asking for quite some time now. And when I say they've been asking for this, they want to drive the cars. They don't want to just sit there.
We talked about that. I mean, you know, as a driver, you know, I would want to drive the car. I'd want it to be more responsive. You know, you step on the pedal and it just doesn't want to go anywhere.
Right.
I mean, because you don't really have any more to go.
You don't.
I mean, do you go with a smaller carburetor, less horsepower, and give them more aerodynamic? You know, what do you do?
No.
And then these guys get into modifieds and they're like, oh my God, this thing's a rocket.
Right.
You know, they can't believe the amount of power these things have.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and they have less horsepower than the Cup cars, but it's a smaller car too.
It's a small
It's a lighter car.
And as Ryan Newman, who had that crash in Daytona, he's driven modifieds in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
And
he loves it.
He loves it.
That's like a sports car to him.
Oh,
he loves it. This is great.
doubt.
Yeah.
You know, and as he put it, he goes, the tires are twice as wide, and the weight is half the amount.
Mm-hmm.
So he
you put
loves
the
that.
pedal down and you grab.
You just
and
hold
go.
on. You know, as they say, hold on, as they say down in the South. So some guys up here in the North say that too.
Yeah.
But, you know, get rid of that spoiler. When you have an 8-inch spoiler, so that's your hand and 2 inches. That's sitting on a race car. Let me get to the right camera here.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And you take it and you make it, which is, you know, that high.
Well, yeah, you're talking about an 8.5 inches is a book.
Right.
You know, 8.5 inches is the height of a book. That's
Exactly.
that's a big spoiler. And then depending on how much you bring that up, depends on how much drag you're going to have.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's a lot to bring it down.
Yeah, it's incredible, and I'm glad the powers to be are finally starting to see that you need these things. You need to make it a race car again, because they haven't been race cars. They haven't been race cars in a long time.
Safety amongst all, that's, you know, first and foremost. But
Yes.
yeah, make it a race car again.
Make it a race car again.
It's a long race to watch unless there's a lot of something going on.
Right.
And beating and banging is not something everybody wants to see. I mean,
No, I mean, the true race fan is not going to the race to see people beating and banging. Those guys, they want to go and watch a demolition derby or go watch some enduro race somewhere where that is acceptable. So
most of the guys that are working in the shop building the cars, they really don't care because the car's coming back, it's coming apart.
It's coming apart anyway. Yeah, all right, let's take this part. Let's start over.
Yeah, it makes no difference to them.
What do they say? They say build, race,
Wreck, repair, repeat.
repeat.
It's like shampoo.
Yeah, but it was a good race to watch, and watching these guys race again, I'll tell you what, I actually got a little excited over that, just watching them race again, because
Did you fall asleep?
I didn't.
That's a big deal.
I didn't,
That's a big deal.
and I fall asleep just
At the
because,
drop of a hat, yeah.
you know, as
That's a big deal.
You may know, I just fall asleep.
Yeah, come on. You know, it's to us a lullaby is the race cars going around
Oh,
the
the
track.
hum of them.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing better.
There's nothing better than that.
Nothing
Right
better
away.
than that.
Burp,
And
done.
if you've never sat in a race car and experienced that, just sitting online ready to go out, it's like a lullaby. It's just, you're sitting there.
As everybody knows, I fell asleep waiting to go out for time trials.
Yes, you did.
At a racetrack.
Yes, you did. We try not to talk about it. I fell asleep in Martinsville driving the pace car. And the next thing
Yeah, but you weren't actively driving. You were sitting.
I was sitting waiting
And
for a caution.
I was too. But I was in the car with the car running.
Yeah.
And, it's nice and warm. You got the rumble of the car, and I fell asleep. And you know what? Even my crew, they used to keep me awake at the Saturday night tracks. They'd constantly be reaching in, grabbing me by the fire suit and giving me a shake just
Wake
to
up.
keep me awake.
Wake up.
Because it was too easy for me to fall asleep, especially when you work on the car all week.
Yes.
You're there late Friday night, you're driving, Saturday's a long day, you guys know.
That's probably the first time all week you get to relax. Is
Oh, yeah.
when you're
When
in
you're
your
in the
race car,
car.
ready to go out. But yeah.
Absolutely.
But it was good. It was a good race to watch. Whether or not you're happy with the outcome, it doesn't matter. But because somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose.
Yeah.
And second's usually the first loser, as they say. So, but it was a good race, and I wish there'd be less super speedway races because they're boring.
Yeah, I mean, it really is, when you're there to see it, it's unbelievable, the size and the magnitude of the races. But yeah, to watch it, it's really, it's really not that. I love the short track races. I really do. That's my favorite.
My Bristol, the
say.
Martinsvilles,
Yeah.
anything at a mile and less.
Yeah,
is
5/8's
good.
awesome. Martinsville, Bristol, those are great. I love
They
them.
great things.
That's good stuff.
But it was just a good race. This package, and the testing for this. They've been working on this for quite some time because the powers to be now realize that hey, we got to change some stuff here.
We've got to do something, yeah.
We're losing our fan base.
We can't stay status quo. Something's got to change.
No, it has to change.
And you got to keep the teams happy. You know what? If they're not coming and you're not getting car counts,
No.
even on a Saturday night track, that's an important thing.
Yes.
And quick, while we're on this, just a quick disclaimer before we go to break. I know we got a break. I'm getting a finger. But
Very good.
just want everybody to know. I mean, even though that it's what they say. It's like Jeff Fox where he said, you can't talk about a redneck unless you are one.
Exactly.
Well, we are NASCAR people. We worked in NASCAR. We raced in NASCAR.
We are one.
We are one. Just the same way that you guys are. And you know what? We're all family here, and that's what we're talking about.
Exactly.
And it's not like we're knocking anybody because and you know what? This is invaluable because the information that we get on the feedback here from you guys and whatnot on local tracks as well. I mean, we're not knocking them. Everybody has a gripe about their track, and that's a good thing, especially if track owners pay attention to that.
Yeah.
Because all you're going to do is get that information and maybe be able to modify what you're doing to make more people happy, whether it's the people in the stands or the people that are racing and bringing the cars and spending the money to get the cars to the track and race.
Right.
Sponsors are going to be happy. Everybody's going to be happy.
Yes.
And it's invaluable information because for every person that says something bad about whatever you're doing in your business, there's 100 people that feel the same way and don't say anything.
Don't say anything.
So it's invaluable information. And believe me, here at the Village Music Shop, the last thing I want to hear is bad information. But when somebody gives me something, some constructive criticism, and that's what we're calling it, It's invaluable.
Yeah, and you know, some people take that the wrong way, constructive criticism. It's constructive. You're supposed to build upon it. That's why it's constructive. And
I know we got a lot of racetrack owners that log in and they watch, and believe me, nobody's bashing anybody. This is we're all family here, and that's exactly what we're looking to come up with. If we can give you information to better your events and your tracks and your people, and be safe and have fun, and everybody's doing well.
Yes.
That's ultimately our goal.
Yes.
We want everybody to be doing well. Everybody's got sponsors. Everybody's racing. They're happy. They're healthy. That's awesome. That's great.
and that's
Can't ask for more than that.
That's what it's all about. It's all about that, and it's all about creating that awareness, and that's what we try to do here. We try to create that awareness of what racing's all about in front of the screen, on TV, and even behind the scenes, which we both have some behind the scenes knowledge, so to speak.
Some things that are going on, sure, and it's as well as you guys do. I mean, we've had plenty of crew members that watch us that call up and can't mention where they work sometimes.
No,
they have
can't.
gag orders. They can't talk to us when we talk to them.
They can't use their name.
They can't use their name. They put a hat on and sunglasses when they're on the phone with us.
Scramble the face.
Get one of those voice things. But I know it's because it's a lot of proprietary information,
Right.
and you guys are on the cutting edge of racing, and we know that. So believe me, everybody is very safe, and that's why the chat room works great. I appreciate you guys always clicking in there. That's good.
Yeah, we got our regulars. We got our regulars. But it's a good thing. It's a good thing this new rules practice. I'll tell you, I'm excited about it. And I don't excite easy when it comes to NASCAR stuff, because I know some of it is because the guy with the most money got it his way.
Well,
That wasn't the case here.
money does make you win. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, it does. It does. It really does. But it's going to be interesting. I'm going to love to see how they are on the road courses with this new package.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see.
Because, like you said, the drivers are now driving these cars, and it's pretty good. It's a pretty good setup. It's definitely a pretty good setup. When you take a look at what's going on here, and I'm not ignoring your people here. I'm just taking some notes as I write. But looking at the Phoenix. Now, Phoenix, it's in the middle of the desert. It's in the middle of nowhere. And that's when you look back to the tracks that were built in the 50s and the 60s. And they were in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, they built around them and they want to close these places. And that's been, you move next to an airport, they're not going to move the airport. You should have moved somewhere else.
You start bringing that many people into the area, everybody wants to get a piece of that pie.
Yeah.
And all of these racetracks, they're small communities that spring up when the races come in, and everybody wants a piece of that pie.
They want a piece of the pie.
You bring that many people into one area, you're talking about millions and millions of dollars in tax
without a
revenue.
doubt. Yeah.
And ancillary things with hotels and restaurants and so forth and so on, gas stations. It's unending. But that's all good. You just can't move in and complain about the racetrack.
No, you can't.
Kind of cut off your nose to spite your face.
Exactly. And speaking of Phoenix, they reconfigured that track a couple of years ago, and the racing on it since the reconfiguration has also improved. Where you're still on the mile and a half cookie cutter racetracks, the racing is just the same. It's like, okay, they jostle for position early on the race, and the next thing you know, it's a single file, and you got two guys pumping each other here, two guys here, and then trying to pick up a draft, and they just ride around single file. It's like a parade with no music. But when they reconfigured Phoenix, it changed the whole dynamic of the racetrack, and moving the start-finish line from one side to the other, that was a big change, and the turns. So I'm glad to see that some of these places, and even though Phoenix did a while back, are starting to realize, hey, we gotta
make this unique.
Exactly.
These unique tracks, the Monster Mile, some of these unique tracks that are not cookie cutters, that have certain things that you're just not putting the same package in every time you go to these tracks. That's going to be a game changer. And that's really, not only for the drivers, but it makes it, a little bit more complicated for the driver, but also a little more nicer for the fan. A little more complicated for the teams. But you know what? You guys are the best in the world. I mean, you can make it happen. And I have no problem with that. No matter what they do to that track, you're going to make that car go as fast as you can.
Yeah.
It's what it is.
And when you look at, even like at Darlington, it's kind of egg-shaped. It's that way because that's the size of their property was, because the setbacks and the easements and whatnot. So, one end is smaller and it turns than the other, which is larger. And with Dover, it's downhill on one straightaway and uphill on the other. And TV doesn't show that. When you go there and see that for the first time, you're like, well, they're going downhill here. And then you look at the other straightaway and they're going uphill. It's just an interesting thing.
Yeah. Got to say hi to Charlene. She's watching us from Aruba. Aruba.
So we have people watching our show
In Aruba.
below the equator in another country.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's good. You saw that, huh?
I saw that. Yeah, right there.
Okay.
She did it in capitals. How could I miss it?
I miss it. So, these are my regular glasses. I normally wear contacts for those who know me, and I have reading glasses. So I have a choice with glasses. I could see here in the teleprompter, or I could see that screen there. I have to choose. And I had my glasses off before because I needed to read.
So you can't see, but don't look up.
Don't look up.
But we got our regulars, Gloria.
Yeah.
We got Vinny. We got JV, J Slice. That's cool. We appreciate all you guys chiming in.
Now, in Jay Slice, I got to say this. He's one of the originals.
Oh, yeah.
And
I think he probably saw every one of the 400 shows.
except when his kid had baseball.
And he probably caught it on replay.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. And was here for some of the anniversary shows. Mm-hmm. So we were just talking in the office. We're coming up to 450.
Yeah.
That's a lot of shows.
But
I think it's 450.
We still have, I think, more of those 400 anniversary shows.
The testimonials?
The testimonials. We were running some of those testimonials throughout the breaks.
Yeah.
For the 400 show.
Yeah, but it was
We'll be
good.
doing that.
Anyway.
We'll be peppering those in from here to there.
I guess we should take a break now. We're going to take a break, and we come back. We're going to talk about the results from Phoenix with the Cup Series and the Xfinity Series, and some news that came out of Phoenix as well when we come back.
Hey, what's oh, I said was gonna say what's up for some reason. Hey, we're Set It Up, and you're watching the Inravio TV network.
Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop. 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Hi there, this is Buddy from Less Than Jake, and you are listening to Inravio TV. You're probably watching it too.
Welcome back to the show. This is the 505 on Racing Show, broadcasting from Inravio Studio D. Thanks for joining us. So we have results from the big race.
Let's go with the Xfinity Series first. What do we got going on with the Xfinity Series results? All right. The winner there was Brandon Jones, followed by Harrison Burton. Kyle Busch was third. Brad Keselowski was fourth. Justin Haley, fifth. Chase Briscoe was sixth. Noah Gragson was seventh. Austin Cindric, eighth. Ross Chastain, ninth. And Riley Herbst rounding out the top 10. Now, before we go into the Cup ones, Michael McDowell and Daniel Suarez got into a physical altercation during qualifying.
Really?
During qualifying.
How did that work out?
At Phoenix, this fight goes back to last year. There's a grudge there because of who bumped who put who in the fence, and so instead of waiting for the race to start,
Still.
you know,
Wow.
I can't
Hey, Saturday night, that's it. Chase him across the track with a 2x4.
Yeah, and then after the race, Dylan Bassetti and Brandon Brown had a fight on pit road after the race for an incident that happened 100 laps ago. Now, listen.
Man, holding a grudge.
Now, I know I used to be that way. I used to be, for those who are out there listening, that, you know, you hold a grudge, but for 100 laps, why wait for 100 laps?
That's a long way to go.
You know every camera in the facility is on pit road at the end, and then you're going to fight a guy? No, you can't do that. I'm sure they were brought into the corporate castle and spoken to. I'm sure they'll be writing checks, and and whatever points they probably gained that day, they're going to lose. They're going to lose. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I mean, in my lifetime, I've been going to racetracks since 1965, in the pit areas since 1973, and I was asked to leave on some occasions.
Several times.
And when it usually wasn't, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you leave the pit area? No, it was usually like with security people, one on each arm, that had my legs, stuff like that.
Pack up your crap.
And you know what? Maybe you might not want to come back for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not maybe. Don't come back.
Yeah. And talking about those things, we had a race director at Riverhead Raceway, and he fined me not one time, but this particular time through NASCAR, and the fine was $200. So I said, I'll give you a check now. So I made the check out to $400. And he says, no, I said $2. I said, no, because I'm going to do this again so that you have money in the bank for me.
This is for the future.
Yeah, this is, I don't even want the interest. Because, I was different when I was younger. Different.
It was a good thing I was different when I was younger, but at the same token, when I started racing, it did go away.
It did?
By that point, yeah, a lot of that went away.
Really?
It did. I didn't have
we
that
made
when I
it
was
worse.
racing. No, by the time I started racing, a lot of that went away. I mean, I wasn't that way anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, but, we did have the guy who, he didn't go to the hospital to get his fingers taped up because they were fixed because they were broken.
Yep.
Because he wanted to race the next Saturday to take me out.
Yeah.
Remember that story?
Yes, I do.
And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
He wouldn't go get his broken hand fixed because he wanted to make sure he was there for the race to take me out.
Exactly. And it wasn't on a date either.
It wasn't on a date.
No.
No.
And I'll share this, then we'll go to the cup. Here we are. I'm like brand new to racing. I have my first race car, and we're at Isis Speedway, the old Isis Speedway. And there was a brawl with my uncle and this other guy. So it's family. I got to jump in.
Right.
I have to.
At that point.
And back then I was looking for somebody to beat up anyway. So it worked out just good. And all of a sudden you get called into the office at the end, the NASCAR office. And the late, great Walt Edsel says, listen, you guys here, you're banned for life. Go race somewhere where there isn't NASCAR because you're banned for life. Now get out of here. Now I'm 18, 19 years old. I just started. Life's a long time. At 62, life is not such a deterrent. But at 18, life is a deterrent.
Yeah.
So here we are, and I'm sitting on the trail. I'm like, what am I going to do here? I can't. Life, that's forever.
Yeah, but that's why he said it.
Yeah.
He wanted to hit you hard.
So I got to go into it. I knock on the door. Who is it? It's Joe Larson. I drew you out of here. Well, I just want to say something. All right. So I'm standing in front of him, and he's eating a hot dog or something, food, drinking his beer, because everything's over. The show's over.
Yeah.
And I said, listen, I just wanted to take this opportunity to apologize for my behavior. I know I embarrassed you. I embarrassed the racetrack. I embarrassed myself, my family, the fans. I know you have to do what you have to do. So I just want to let you know that I respect your decision. With that, he puts his hot dog down, and there's a fly on the desk, hits it. Goes, see you next week. I said, next week? You said I'm banned for life. I didn't say your life. The life of that fly now. What you did was, I really appreciate what you did. And I had the most respect for that man for the rest of my life.
There you go. Because you came to him with your hat in your hands and apologized.
I just bought a race car. I can't be banned for life.
Right, well, that's it. What are you going to do?
You have to humble yourself, you know?
That's it.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, Cup Series. One of the best races I've seen in a long, long time. Joey Logano was the winner there, followed by Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch third, Kyle Larson fourth, Clint Boyer was fifth, Kurt Busch sixth, followed by Chase Elliott in seventh, Eric Almirola was eighth, Cole Custer ninth, and William Byron rounding out the top 10. Wow, that was some race. And I'm going to share something, you know, this lucky dog, free pass thing, whatever they want to call it.
Yeah.
All right, here's my buddy, Bubba Wallace. He's like 28th, 29th, with like 5 to go. It's a wreck. It's a free pass.
Sure.
He was 2 laps down. Now he's 1 lap down.
Okay. It's been done before.
2 to go. It's a wreck. Now they're in overtime.
He gets another pass.
Gets another pass.
That's it.
He finished 19th just from the free pass thing. Now, I'm not a fan of the free pass. I'm not. But
we've had people ride that free pass to a win.
Ronnie Silk.
Some of them were down 2 laps and they rode it to a win.
Ronnie Silk was 5 laps down. I'm not sure if it was Thompson or Stafford in the Whelen Modified Touring Series. And he got like 5 free passes and won the race.
That's what I'm saying.
You know?
You know, because you remember the days when they used to race back to the line.
Yeah.
And that was, you know, the guys in front that are slowing down and, you know, somebody steps out of line a little bit and slips over, and the next thing you know, there's a rear ender.
Yeah.
And it was more dangerous than it was worth.
Exactly.
You know, I'm a fan of the Lucky Dog.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a fan of it on a competition level.
Right.
You don't have the days of old, you know, the Silver Fox and the White Knight when, you know, people finished the race, you know, 40 laps down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they weren't broke.
Right.
They were just running.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but I'm a fan of it because it's a safety issue.
Yeah.
You know?
Back in the olden days, like even before I was born, if it was a 500-mile race and the checker flag dropped to the winner, the other competitors could continue to run until they got their laps in. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, NASCAR, you know, there's nobody in the seats. We're paying our officials to stand there. Tech is being delayed.
What's the point? You finish in 40 laps down.
The checker flag drops. It's over.
It's over. But you know what? I remember we used to have that. You know, the flag is out. The caution flag is out.
Yep.
We'd cringe right away because you knew that everybody was racing back to the line.
Racing back to the line.
Watch out! Watch out! Whoa! And it was like, you know, what was going to happen?
Yeah. You have safety people out there. You have the wrecked race cars out there. Got a guy rolling off the wall.
Yeah, exactly. There's too much.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was way too dangerous. So yeah,
it was.
I'm a big fan of the Lucky Dog. Just because of that.
Yeah, no. But I don't know. It's
How do you guys weigh in on the Lucky Dog? Tell us in the chat room.
Yeah, let us know because let us know. Let us know your thoughts on that because there's a lot of racing people on the show tonight, and there's a lot of women on our show tonight that are watching and commenting.
Yeah.
And
I see Erica Peterson's on.
yeah, I mean, let us know because your husband or boyfriend or whatever, they're racing, and do you want them to race back to the line? Or the field is frozen?
Be safe. That's it. Field's frozen.
Lift,
That's it.
throw it in neutral, coast around.
That's it. You're done.
You know, let's take a look at that one because I'm not a fan of the Lucky Dog. But then again, I wasn't a fan of the playoffs either. And I think they won me over. I think they won me over.
You think so?
I just wish they would tweak it a little bit.
Yeah, something's got to be tweaked, I think, on that. I'm not a fan of that yet.
And, you know.
Not a fan of that.
I'm not in the in anymore. I used to go to these meetings and have these discussions. But something happened one day, and all of a sudden, I had to turn in my suit. But I'll tell you what. You know, I was working a race, and I'm not going to say where because it ended up being a lawsuit, so we're going to keep it as quiet as we can of where and who. And an official in the middle of the event was terminated.
Wow.
For whatever they did. Doesn't matter what they did. NASCAR, the big boys, they brought that official into the office with human resources on the premises. I didn't know human resources traveled.
Eating a hot dog on pit lane? Something, right?
It was something that wasn't good, but it wasn't something that deserved to be a terminated situation. But however, that was the decision that was made. Not only did they make this person remove their NASCAR uniform, and the person says, I have nothing to change into.
Strip down his underwear.
They said, go to the concession stand, buy a pair of sweats and a t-shirt. They escorted this individual off the property.
Really?
Without, not even a way to get back to the hotel.
Really?
They had to take a bus. It's so bad. I shouldn't be laughing. It was just pretty serious. A bus back to the hotel, and they were not allowed in their room because it wasn't their room. It was NASCAR's room.
And where was their money? Did they even have money on them? I'd be concerned about having my wallet.
I mean, it was, and the person sued. There was a lawsuit. It was settled out of court, but they don't play games, NASA. They do not play games.
No, they don't.
Now, when I left, it wasn't that bad because I left on my own terms, depending on which story you want to listen to.
Depends on how you want to look at it.
Exactly. I mean, I don't think I was back to the whole hotel yet, and the word on the island was, like a whole story that didn't exist. But that's how they are.
Well, those things do get blown out of proportion.
Every time.
Jay Slice says he likes the lucky dog because of the wrecks under caution.
Yeah.
He thinks that's a good thing, but he's still not a fan of the playoffs.
No, he doesn't like the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's why he's my, was my crew chief all those years, because him and I think alike.
Yeah.
Him and I think alike.
Yeah, I like the lucky dog thing.
And
Playoffs, like we said, I think it needs to be tweaked. But
and I'm trying to get him out of retirement because as we talked a couple of weeks ago, I'm going to go back and play with some modifieds, and I don't even have to have Brett Bodine approve me. I just show up. Got a car, got a trailer, got all my stuff. I got all my stuff that I bought when I was going to race the tour, and it still all fits.
good.
But I'm not going to race in the FAR division. Forget about racing.
You should be racing in the FAR division.
I should be racing in the FAR division.
I don't want any of these Visa Gold cards because you need to take a helicopter to the nearest hospital.
And they didn't take me to the nearest one. They took me to a trauma center.
Well, yeah.
There's a difference.
You needed a little more than...
I can laugh
Besides,
about
what are you going to do, land in a parking lot over there? They got to take you somewhere where they can land the helicopter.
Yeah, they took me to the Peconic Bay Medical Center, and I think I don't remember because I was in a coma. It's not going to happen again, trust me. And I think they landed in the football field for Mercy High School or something.
To pick you up and take you over there, yeah.
And then I went to Stony Brook, and my first ride in a helicopter, and I don't remember it.
Yeah.
It stinks, man. It stinks. Anyway, we're going to take a break. I can't believe I laugh about that. My foot's in my lap, and I'm laughing.
You were lucky.
I was lucky.
You were lucky.
The Angels were taking care of me. Come on. When we come back, we'll talk about some more NASCAR news and maybe have some more laughs about that wreck that I had in 96 when we come back.
Hi, I'm Remington.
I'm Emerson.
And I'm Sebastian.
We're Palais Royale, and you're watching Inravio TV.
There we go.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
Hey, this is Chris Les Jake, and if Inravio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
Hi, this is Mike Jarecki from My Race News, and you're watching the Inravio TV network.
Hey guys, this is Jibs from Ocean's 8 Alaska, and you're watching Inravio TV network.
Hey, we're back.
We are back.
We had some fun during the break.
Somebody's very giddy today. It's like a schoolgirl over here.
I'm in a good mood today. You know.
So Josh is chiming in. He says he's doesn't like the rule packages.
We'll just have to agree to disagree. No, I'm only kidding. It's not for everybody. You know, we grew up in a different NASCAR era, and we grew up in an era where the cars were
different.
You went to the showroom. There it was. There was no aero packages. And
think about when we started. I mean, a lot of things have changed. It's come a long way.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just everything.
Yeah.
Steering wheels, seats.
Yeah.
I mean, look at some of the stuff that they used to have. Can you imagine? I mean, they bring some of those old cars out, you know, and take them around the track at like, 50 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Just for,
Yeah.
for giggles. And it's, they put a camera in there and you're looking and you're like, wow, do you remember those days?
Yeah.
It's amazing. These guys were going over the walls in these things.
Yep.
And
There was an old timers day thing at Riverhead Raceway, and Marty Himes brought out a stable worth of cars, and I had the opportunity to drive the old Walt Edsel car, and it had like the old belt from like a P-47 fighter plane. That was the seatbelt. The door was tied shut.
yeah.
And the shifter, you put it into high gear, and it was a hook that you had to because if you got banged from behind, the shifter went into neutral.
So they had a hook to hold it up there.
Oh yeah. And then he put his head in the window before he put the net up. He goes, "All right, don't go too hard. This car's equipped with Maypop tires." And I'm like, I never heard of Maypop. I've heard of Goodyear. I've heard of Hoosier, Firestone.
Maypop. If you
They
go
may
over
pop.
If you go over 20 miles an hour, they may pop.
I was like, okay.
It's not a brand. It's what they'll do.
It's a real thing.
They may pop.
Snap, crackle, pop, Rice Krispies. Oh my God. But yeah, it's
And you think about it, chain the doors shut. I mean, remember that?
yeah.
And you were driving around, you had the front seat to the car for the Enduros and stuff.
Yes.
I mean, just some of the things that we used to do. It's like, we'd go out and we thought we were racers. We'd go out and get a bucket seat from the junkyard and toss it in there from like a Camaro or something.
Right, yeah.
And put a bucket seat in there. We thought that was a racing seat.
So you want to hear the worst seat I ever sat in and drove?
Oh, I know.
It wasn't Michael, and
I
it
don't
wasn't.
wanna know.
It's worse than the pizza box firewall with the hole for the coupon, save 10 and get a free pizza.
Really?
It was a barrel like a wine barrel, cut like a seat with a seat cover over it.
Really?
I kid you not. The car was driven by a guy, John Monty. It was I think it was his car. And somehow my uncle was involved with it, and they let me take it out. And I was like, this seat is the most uncomfortable seat I ever sat in. And they laughed. It was a barrel. It was a wooden wine barrel.
Well, as we said before in this show, we do not advocate that.
No, do not try these things at home.
Do not try these things at home, and you guys are smarter than that. I mean, you're building the best cars in the world.
Absolutely.
But ultimately, yeah, safety. It's all about safety.
It is.
We want everybody to go home.
Yeah. Because, one of the things that I realize now that I didn't realize when I started racing back in '78 is I have to go to work on Monday.
Yeah, and a testament to the safety of the cars and the Newman bars and stuff that were in there. I mean, that guy walked out of the hospital with his 2 kids. I'm telling you, there was a tear in my eye.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. All the prayers were answered. I know all you guys, everybody was on, on our chat room and was saying that, prayers, and unbelievable.
Power prayer. And Josh Conway is saying, his guys have won 6 championships with 60 wins. That's impressive. Good deal. And and you have to be safe, and you have to build them right. And and you don't want to chintz. Somebody was asking me about a helmet because I really have to question my helmet. My helmet it's a good helmet. Don't get me wrong, because for those who don't know this, I'm going to be racing at live bars, and it's a good helmet. However, it is more than a couple of years old. And when I went to a trade show and I was talking to a Simpson dealer about my helmet, he says what happens is the stuff that cushions your head inside the shell gets dry and it doesn't do its job. He said I should just like throw it in the garbage can and get a new one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my helmet is brand new, and I think it's barely out of the box, and
Really?
it's junk. Yeah, I mean, how old is that?
Yeah.
From the last time I raced.
And they're not cheap, you know.
No.
And you know, like I said,
You know, once you put the radio and the headset and everything else in it, the mic and whatnot.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking about $1,000 helmet on
Oh,
a good
easy.
one.
Yeah,
you know,
easy.
good helmet with a port and the whole thing.
you know, with the Hans hookup and.
I don't have that. That was
Oh,
before.
yeah. Oh,
that.
then it's really junk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Before that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got, you know, somebody asked me, do you have
It's
a Hans?
a prop. I have to put it on the table here. What are we gonna do with it?
You know, well, you know, put it on the table with that trophy. Right, the trophy that. You know,
That's right. The trophy I got.
yeah. Your first win. There was no
My
trophy.
first win. That's it.
Where's the trophy? Hey, Chuck, hey, it's your first win. Yeah, but where's the trophy?
There was no trophy.
There was no
The
trophy.
only race, no trophy. Here's your hat.
Here's your hat, and put that little Hoosier, you know, scarf thing on. But yeah.
There was no Hoosier scarf.
Oh, they didn't have those then either?
No.
You got Ugats for that race.
I got Nougats.
You got a microphone in the face.
I got a microphone in the face, and I got a hat.
Wow.
I got a feature winner hat. That was it.
Feature winner hat.
Feature winner hat.
See, I don't have any feature winner hats. I have penalty notices that I could wallpaper a room with. And not a small room either, a big room. Oh, anyway.
Well, if you can't win, go out trying.
Oh, my
Go out
goodness.
hard.
Oh, the
What
things
can
I
you do?
do. I look back. Oh, my goodness.
You know,
Anyway.
actually, just on a quick note, I was going through some pictures, came across your picture of that yellow 37 car.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That
I
was
should have
my-
brought that in. I'll
That
do
was my favorite car. Just I don't know. I couldn't get it to work.
That car came out of my shop in Copiague, didn't it?
Yeah. It was a Bobby Wallace car. It was kind of redone in your place. And I have pictures of my car in that shop. It's my car, the 52, your car, that van that you had.
Okay. Well, you know, we'll have to do a nostalgia day.
Yeah.
You guys are going to have to send us in some pictures. We'll put them up
Oh,
on the
yeah.
broadcast.
And
We'll
there's
do
some
that.
of you here. Now, Gloria and Nancy, you don't count.
Oh, yeah, forget about it. We'd need a 9-hour show just to get through like a quarter of that stuff.
we would have to use that one as like a Jerry Lewis telethon.
All right, here's the deal. You can PM us a picture, one picture, of a car from back in the day that you rode, that you owned, that you drove, whatever.
Yes.
And then we'll have to do that. We'll put that up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
maybe next week.
Yeah.
We'll do a little segment.
Definitely. We're good. Hey,
We'll
Jimmy.
call it Blast in the Past. Or
Blast in the Past. Hey, Jimmy Johnson was recently fitted for an IndyCar seat at Arrow McLaren for a test.
something. Really? Well, he drove one before.
Yes, he did.
I think he drove one most, right? I think Gordon did once.
Yes.
But I think Jimmy drove a bunch.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
So maybe he's going to try something.
yeah, you never know.
Well, he's pretty much done over at NASCAR. So.
Yeah, he's yeah. I mean, he's still got the skills, but you know what? You go out when you're on top. Some guys hang on too long.
Well, they're going out younger now.
Yes, they well.
They're not hanging around like Harry Gant.
Well, you know, is the difference between now and even 20 years ago is these guys are being paid a lot of money, and not so much from the teams, but from endorsements and sponsors and all that kind of stuff. You know, Harry Gant, when he hung on way too long, you know, even Richard Petty and
The
the
Skull
guys my
Bandit?
hero. Yeah.
Well, some of them did. That's right. I mean, Richard Petty had a hard time of it as well.
Yeah.
You know, it was hard to see his last couple of years there.
Yeah.
You know, because it wasn't him.
No,
And so, yeah, it was a little...
no. And Robert Clark, who
I see that. Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
he's another guy that probably has like
I want 9,000 photos
I sat
in his wallet right now.
I sat with him at Marty Himes once. I think he had more pictures than Marty Himes at the museum. Because I sat and he was showing me all these pictures from the 50s and the 60s.
Yeah,
I was
he
like,
puts.
wow.
He says only one photo.
Only one photo.
I'm scared to say send a couple.
I have albums of photos, so I got to pick my most favorite one as well. But
You know what? We'll do this more than once. But
Yeah.
yeah, send us one photo,
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll do this more than once.
Exactly.
Send us a little photo, maybe a little blurb on what it's all about. We'll talk about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
I like that idea. That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I like seeing all that
I'm
stuff.
glad I thought of that. That was
Yeah,
good.
me too.
Hey, Tony Stewart is going to come out of retirement from
Really?
NASCAR. Yeah, he's going to run an Xfinity event. He's going to run the Indianapolis Road Course, where in 2005 he won the Brickyard for the first time. So he's going to come out and do some nostalgia racing. To him, that's like nostalgia racing. But he wants to run the road course.
That's like racing far.
Yeah. For those who don't know, see, there's like Bars, the Long Island Vintage Auto Racing Series. That's
So I invented my own series.
what I'm going to be in.
I invented a series called Far.
Right. Near. New England Auto Racing Series. Far. Forget about racing. Unbelievable. This is my buddy here, 30 years. But he's only concerned for my own safety.
He's racing
because
it far. You know what?
There's not enough hours in Chuck's day to come visit me at the hospital.
You know what? If I was going to be there to check out that car, make sure it's on. You know, and nothing bad about the car. I'm sure that the guys that are putting that together are
Yes.
putting it together 110%.
Yeah, we just changed the belts. It's all good. It's all good. I tried them on. I was sitting in the car the other day. Oh, my goodness. I got in real good. My
Didn't get
body
out- didn't
doesn't
get out
bend
good.
the way it used to getting out, so I
That's
gotta,
my
I gotta
point.
like do some stretching. Now, 2021. Oh my goodness, 2021. The schedule is not going to come out now until mid-April. It was due out already, but the 2021 Busch Clash has been moved to the Daytona International Speedway Road Course, the same course used for the Rolex 24 Hours at Daytona, and the race will be on February 9th under the lights. And there's a car. There's a nice car. Look at that car.
I know these pictures are coming in already. We're going to talk
Look
about
at
it
that.
next week, but
Wow.
yeah, we got some pictures coming up on the teleprompter
Yeah.
already that are coming over. So yeah,
Unbelievable.
send your pictures in.
But you know, and Speed Weeks has been shorted. It's going to be speed like 6 days now instead of like 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah, that's a Robert Clark, right? Picture. Coolidge. Oh yeah, nice. See, the pictures are coming in already.
Already, yeah.
And that's when modifieds are modifieds.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know what a modified is, back in the day, first of all, that was NASCAR's first division. They took cars out of the dealership and modified them, changed the springs, but it still had to appear that way. And they even drove these cars, they were street legal, to the race. Because Lee Petty used to drive his cars to the race. And as long as it wasn't wrecked, he drove it home.
Yeah, but those modifieds, they went off the charts.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, by the time they got to there, everything was modified.
And they were called modifieds because they modified
A stock car.
just everything. And also,
The engine, the tires, the
Now they're-
suspension parts, everything was modified.
you can't tell. Years ago, you could tell, that's Charlie Jazamba. That's Richie Evans. That's Jerry Cook.
Yeah.
Now, if these cars came out in primer,
You would never know.
they look exactly the same. Exactly the same.
It's like somebody went to the local slot car track and just bought like 20 of the same cars.
Right. Yeah. And you know, Josh Conway's saying that the modifieds in North Carolina, they're losing them. They're losing. And that whole NASCAR Wheeling Southern Modified Tour, I was involved for the meetings for those down in Daytona, and I can remember they wanted to merge the North and the South.
Yeah.
What the problem was, the Southern teams didn't race on tracks or pit roads. I didn't have the pit road fire suits and the helmets and the gloves and all of that good stuff. And so they had to do it over time. And what happened was they ran out of time. And the Southern guys weren't coming up north because the cost of race, they only had a handful of races down in the South. So only a handful of the Northern guys
We're going south.
were going south. And it was only the guys who were up in the points. And, you know.
Yeah, he says 8 cars showed up, Josh.
Yeah, and it's.
Unbelievable.
It is. And I can remember a modified tour race came to Riverhead. It was my first year, I think, as the race director. And we're going to start 28 cars. 5 were provisionals. And the 5th provisional was for the highest Riverhead car in the points that didn't make the show. Not in the tour points, but in Riverhead points. Because they wanted a nice showing of Riverhead cars.
Riverhead car.
Well, 50 some odd cars registered for this race. NASCAR called me up and they told me to start inspecting those cars during the week because there was not going to be enough time to inspect 50 cars before practice.
Yeah, that day.
That day.
The day of the race.
And that race caused a rule change because Jamie Tomeno never missed a tour race, never missed a race. And he was going to take the past champions provisional, and Wayne Anderson bumped him because he was the most recent. And they changed the rule like the following week. It was too late to help Jamie. They changed the rule the following week that you had to race so many races that year to be eligible for that.
Right.
Nothing against Wayne Anderson. He was a national champion and driving for the Bowlers. But and for those who don't know, the Bowlers is the old blue, they called the car. It was number 3, and it was their own concoction. They built it. They went to NASCAR. They got approved for it, and their cars are still running today. And it's Bowler engineering. But when that happened, I was, hey, I know Wayne. I know Wayne since I'm a little kid. Wow, good for him.
Yeah.
But here I'm race director, and I'm like, it wasn't right.
Yeah.
And they had to change it. And many rule changes, and we've talked about it on the show, many rule changes come about from a mistake, an injury, a crash, a rule misinterpretation.
Well, that's where it all comes from. It's, from sometimes real life experience that happens. Sometimes you can't make these things up.
No.
And you can't figure out that this could happen, this could go this way or that way, and you got to sometimes do it on the fly. Josh is saying, we're speaking about Harry Gant there. Harry's grandson actually raced with Josh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There you go. And when you look at some of these guys from the 70s and the 80s, and that's all they knew. They came up through the short tracks and they slept on couches, they slept in their haulers, they slept in their trucks to go racing and hope to make enough money to go into the next one. And Harry Gant was one of those guys, I believe. I don't know Harry personally. I know I sat and had a beer with him, believe it or not, now I'm trying to remember the exact name.
The Skull Bandit.
Yeah, no, the Boots Bowery in Port Orange, Florida. And he just was not the typical guy. He wasn't like all personable. It was, I'm Harry Gant. You want my autograph? It's $5. I was like, wow. He sat there. He was selling his autograph for $5. So that tells me he needed money.
Yeah.
Well,
I think he finished a couple of races on his roof.
Yeah.
He slid across the start-finish line on his roof to finish a couple races.
He did. Yeah,
the Skull Bandit. I like that car.
It was, yeah. But that was from the era where the cars looked like the car you buy.
Yeah.
I mean, show me, back when, like last year when the Cup Series had the Camry. I don't know any V8 Camry with rear-wheel drive.
We spoke about
Yep.
that, yeah. Well, it's tough.
And 2 doors. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back and wrap this thing up. I believe we have time to wrap things up and have another little discussion about things in NASCAR and things that you want to talk about.
One little thing before we go. Josh is saying Harry's he's a very kind and humble man.
Yes, he is.
So nothing bad about him. But
no.
Everybody's got positions they wind up being in. So
we got to do what we got to do to put food on the table and keep the roof over our houses. And Andy Houston, his son races in the DHR in the Southeast Super Truck. I'm trying to remember her name, but it'll come to me during the break when we come back.
Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop. 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Hey, I'm Raul Panther.
And I'm Commander B. Hawkins.
And I'm Mark Weller. We're some of the proto men. If we see you without this bracelet, you're punching the. But if you have this bracelet from Inravio.com, you can win $100.
Put one of these on, or else.
What's up, guys? This is Assuming We Survive, and you're watching Inravio TV Network.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
Hey, welcome back.
Yeah. Welcome back to the big show.
Yes. We have a few minutes left.
Yeah, it was a good week. Everybody was safe.
Yeah.
Good racing.
Yeah.
Everybody came home.
So, we joke around this live bars thing that I'm going to be doing. And I don't want to say it's not serious racing, because anytime you put cars on a racetrack, somebody wants to win, and
It's going to be serious, yeah.
Yeah,
Somebody's going to want to race.
But I have an opportunity to do something I wanted to do for about, I don't know, since I left NASCAR, and NASCAR told me to go play somewhere else. We're going to have some fun with this, and there's a lot of people involved that put this together for me. So they've been trying to get me to drive for them for a couple of years now, and just one day he called me at a weak moment. I said, all right.
No, just be careful.
Yeah, we're going to go. I understand the lineups and live bars are based on where do you want to start today, and whether it is 10 or 110, I'll be starting way in the back.
Yeah, it's an exhibition race. So, I mean, just, go out there and be careful.
Yeah, we'll go out. I know it's a little bit different in some of the other tracks that we're going to go to. Like, we're going to go to Thompson, we're going to go to Stafford, we're going to go to Waterford, we're going to go to, wow, I don't remember now. But I'm going to be taking it week by week and not plan past tomorrow. There's the 7-Eleven, Joe Krakowski car. I worked with Joe Krakowski at the UPS. Yeah, him and I. And I can tell you some jokers.
Yeah, send in those pictures. If you guys got pictures, send them in.
7-Eleven.
We're going to bring them up. We'll talk about them. Send us a little blurb on what it's all about.
Little blurb.
Give us a little blurb so we know what we're talking about, whose car it was, where it ran, what it did, when it ran, that type of stuff. And
we know some of them, but we don't know the
Yeah,
history.
we don't know all of them. There's a lot of cars out there. There's a lot of people. But
Yeah, a lot of
we'll pop up some stuff. Josh is... we could do a whole show on Josh. He's got a whole bunch of people he knows.
Oh, yeah.
So his uncle is Rick Townsend. He worked with Ward Burton. I love Ward Burton.
Yeah. I'm going to question at Josh. Andy Houston is Jimmy Houston. It's that Houston family that used to pile into the station wagon and go to the racetracks. Because I worked with Sherry on the Southern Modified Tour, and we had some nice discussions. And if that's the same family, Dale Earnhardt Sr., the late Dale Earnhardt Sr., his wife Teresa was also a Houston. A lot of people don't know that. But anyway.
Interesting.
Yeah. I only know that because, I spent like 5 hours in an airport in an overlay with Sherry one time, coming back from Iowa.
So you got an earful.
Oh, I did. Things I can't talk about that was said. this is between us. And I try when people say that to me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you're saying that Andy is Tommy Houston's kid.
Oh, okay. There you go. There you go. Small world. Small world. Anyway, looks like we're going to be wrapping this up tonight.
Yeah.
And next week, the NASCAR Top 3 will be in Atlanta. Fast racetrack.
Yeah.
That one you might want to watch. It's a fast place.
Yeah.
So anyway.
It should be a good race.
It should be a good race.
I'm curious to see what's going to happen over there.
Yeah. And before we go, my twin daughters, Erin and Kerry. Kerry, a track photographer at the Riverhead Raceway here in Long Island, and my daughter Erin is the chief scorer at the Riverhead Raceway in the NASCAR Whelen All-American Series. It is their birthday Saturday, so happy birthday to my
happy birthday.
My beautiful two daughters.
I remember when they were really little.
Remember?
They used to climb all over me like I was a jungle gym.
Well, Chuck, you know what? They're still really little. It's kind of weird.
Right?
Yeah, Kerry's pretty small. But yeah, she's a photographer. She bought a camera, started taking pictures. Next thing I know, she's the photographer at Riverhead.
Okay, there you
So
go.
it's all good. So happy birthday, girls. I love yous. And for everybody else, I love you guys too, and girls. Thanks for tuning in, spending some time with us on a Monday night.
Yeah, be safe out there. Be careful.
Be safe, and we'll see you all next week. Good night, everybody.
Good night.